Well, hello there, friends. It is January 31st, 2021. It's a bit late. Sorry for late recording, late uploading. At the very least, I suppose it will give me an opportunity to see what this phone records like for night shots. So, yeah, just kind of had a busy day. I just wanted to wait until I was done with everything so I could just sit back and relax and Is it okay? All right. Still can't quite tell what it looks like. All right, there we go. Yeah, so just a warning beforehand. There's going to be a whole bunch of talking about back stuff and all that. I mean, that is so sorry. I'll try not to go full autismo mode with it, if you will. You know, no, not to use in a derogatory term, but yeah, it is the last Sunday of January and the last day of January also. How about that? We are a month in to the new year. Yeah, time flies, doesn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, I went to church today. I went earlier, just because I had a massage thing that I was going to do later in the day, when I would normally. It was a little too close of when I'd go to church, so I just went earlier. It was all right. I did like orthros and then the liturgy. I still have no idea what orthros is. I think I was the only one in the church. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just be here by myself, and while all these, they're doing the orthros service. So, but it was good. I think I'll definitely in the future kind of look at checking out some other churches just to see what they're like. I mean, this one's fine. And I'm going kind of purely for my own, I don't know, religious interests, if you will. It's, the social aspect is certainly there, but right now I'm not too worried about that. But it probably wouldn't hurt to check out some other ones, to, as they say, church shopping. I've been a bit to one. I'll still probably go back, but I kind of have to do a little research to see what else is out there and check it out for Orthodox churches. The homily, I believe it's called, was pretty good. Once again, it feels very, very relevant, if you will. It's oddly, maybe it's just a weird synchronicity or coincidence. I don't know. It definitely feels, though, like stuff that I very much needed to hear. I can't relay it to you perfectly, but needing to have, it was just kind of talking about having that time pressure on yourself to make the personal change and then the bigger changes. Like I said, I'm describing it really awful, and obviously there is a spiritual context to it that he talked about, but once again, that sort of like time sensitive time pressure of having on yourself that just kind of hit close to home. So that was good. I did do a massage therapy today, and this is not with the Chinese massage therapy place. This is with the person who reached out to me on here. So it's the person who kind of specializes in the therapeutic, medicinal, medical side of it, not the relaxation side. So had a good session. I'm feeling hopeful. I'll see. According to them, my rhomboid didn't look worse, so that was good, but about the same from when we ended off. So I took that as a victory of like, all right, well, I was like hoping it didn't show up and they'd be like, yeah, this looks the same as when you showed up. So we got a lot out. I think they mentioned that basically, they mentioned that I have a giant adhesion in my, lovingly referred to as a muscle knot, in my right rhomboid. So, they could just look at me and see it, but doing like the palpitations or something on the muscle, felt it. So we did the work. I couldn't even describe to you the different techniques, but we said there was a lot of release, and it looks a lot smaller than it did now. Almost now as small as the left side, just a little bit bigger. And the biggest thing is they got a lot of the adhesion out, if you will, where the muscle, like they were putting their hand on it and saying, at first when we started, it was like a rock trying to slide their hand through it, and now it was just gliding through it. So it looks like we got a big, we'll see. We broke up a lot of the adhesion here, and the muscle gets a chance to hopefully heal and be on some semblance of normalcy sometime here. We'll see. I realize it's been a long-term problem, and I just got to settle into, it's going to take a while to get over it too. Just kind of sitting here watching the sun go down, and how much I miss going for evening walks. I can still go for walks, and I still do it, but still not quite the same when you mentally don't have something in your head, some sort of ache and pain, and you can just really go for a nice long walk and take it all in. I am very much looking forward to that. It's one of those simple pleasures of life that, yeah. So I did do some further consultation with this person, a number of things here. So they did confirm, it's one of those things that I didn't necessarily want to hear, but probably needed to hear. And that is, folks, that you simply need to leave the muscle alone. There's going to be a time and a place to work out and strengthen this and that, but that is not it right now, because it is, rhomboid pill is a bitter pill to take, and it is too screwed up right now, and it needs to heal. You need to, especially with how long I've had the issue, it's just, you're going to need to leave the exercise alone for a while. This is, so it gets a chance to heal, and then you can go back to doing what you need to, and then do your rows and the pull-ups and all that, but not right now. And it definitely makes sense, because when this issue flared up back in 2019, all I remember is no amount of going to specialists and pills and this and that, none of it, not even stretches and this, and I had a massage back then and all that, but it wasn't the same kind. The only thing that made any difference was just not doing anything for like a month and a half, and then it finally started to feel better. But then I went right back to doing the same bad stuff, and then so yeah, I kind of went through my little stage of begrudgingly about it, then being like depressed and angry, and then finally accepting, which I realize sounds weird, because it's like, dude, it's just exercise, who cares? But when you don't really enjoy a whole lot in life anymore as it is, having to stop something that you do enjoy, it was kind of a bummer. What can I say? It was like, well, this is more than likely not going to be a few weeks. This is probably going to take a couple, if not longer, months, folks, of just, you can go for walks, but any of the lifting and stuff, you got to just leave it alone for now. And it really does make sense in hindsight. So, and especially, when it was something that I felt like I was making some sort of progress on, so that it did suck. But hey, if it does make the difference in not aggravating it more and not causing more damage, that's all right, folks. I will take the hit, because right now the journey is towards healing as best as I can. I'm hoping for 100%, but obviously it's kind of bothering me right now, but in the car still. So there's that. There's also, I did have a day, I went to Staples this time. Checking out chairs again, folks. I know. Yeah, I know. Chairs again, right? Musical chairs. And I just tried everything in the store, and once again, everything just didn't feel great in its own way. And there was one chair that I looked at, very riveting here, talking about back pain massage and chairs, I know. And orthros, right? Yeah, this is tuning in for the exciting content here. Yeah, I did take a piece of the holy bread. Sorry. I don't know any of these terms. And I ate a little piece and on an empty stomach, and I saved the other half for my mom. It's kind of just becoming a little Sunday tradition. Let's see. So there was this tall stool, like a tall stool that you could really go up and you could really sit up. And I just kind of remembered, I've got that attachment for a standing desk. And I thought about, what if I just get like a tall stool that I could generally stand? And then if I need to sit down for a little bit, I don't have to try to move. It's a standing desk attachment thing that really does not go down very well. Once it's in the up position, it wants to stay there. So I was like, something that you could quickly sit on. So I just thought about it. And once again, it was one of those things where I was like, man, yeah, maybe this is something else to try. And then it got me on this kick of, dude, for the last year, all you've basically done, especially since you went to working from home a lot of times, you just have spent the last year sitting down and laying down with a whole lot of sitting down. Maybe it's kind of time to try something else and start standing up a bunch. If you need to absolutely sit down, you've got this stool and whatever, and you can obviously lay in bed with the laptop and do your studies and all that. But it was another thing too of, what did I learn over last year, in terms of just this back stuff? None of the exercise made any difference. And I had plenty of times when I did a bunch of rows. There was this period of time where I was doing band pull-aparts every day, and all it did was just make it hurt more. So I think at that point, right now I'm sort of past the point of exercise, and it's kind of, I think it really is just leaving it alone. So it just occurred to me, yeah, man, what if you just try something else? What if you just leave it alone? And I think I started watching some videos from the Snake Diet Cole Robinson guy about standing a bunch, and then some others who made reactions to his videos, and that just kind of motivated me of well, what if instead of sitting and try to find some way to sit, what if you try to stand a whole bunch instead, and then sit down when you're absolutely exhausted? So I'm like, all right, you know what? What's there to lose, right? Let's give it a shot. So I got the stool set up, got my standing attachment, got my monitor up high, then I can switch it all up and use a work laptop, and then sit down if I need to. So yes, musical chairs, folks. And the other thing, folks, the third thing was, so I'm actually, this is day 3 of no coffee, and the whole standing up thing is sort of funny, no fap, folks. How about this for a February challenge? How about no sit, right? Try not to sit. Try to stand as much as you possibly can. So, it's been pretty tough. I'm very deconditioned, but I kind of like it. It does make sense, right? You should be able to kind of be on your feet for a lot, and I've lost a lot of that ability. No FAP and no sit. How about that? No sit February. No sit November. So the other thing too is, I mean, I am day 3 now on no coffee. So I am taking the no coffee pill purely because it's another one of those things, folks, where I got to be honest with myself. I cannot limit myself. And I got to, if I do drink it again, I mean, maybe I will, probably, I don't know. But I got to reset my tolerance and limit, because once again, I just found myself drinking way too much. You can kind of feel that tension and cortisol building as you're just chugging cups. And my issues with insomnia too, it's kind of like you've never tried just you never tried just giving up coffee completely and seeing how it would affect you. So it's another one of those things where, I don't know, I just kind of quit one day, and I've actually been surprisingly fine with little this time. The past it hit me hard, but this time it's been actually very little side effects. Some lack of energy, more so than usual. It's like sloth mode times 2. But I don't know, it's been completely fine. I think a part of it has just been like general stress and all of this like tension from all this back stuff that just got into my head that I don't even think about the coffee thing. I don't know. So I plan to go through with that. Just another thing of just try get it out of your system, man, and see what effect it has on you. Just try something else, because I was doing too much again, folks. Way too much. And it's just something I've been meaning to do, like other things, and I figured, you know what, let's gosh darn it, let's do it now. I have not been sleeping the best either way. The issue has simply been finding a comfortable position to sleep in. And even when it is sort of comfortable, this is kind of where it gets into like, it's all in your head, dude. It's all like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Blah, bitty, blah territory. This is the part where, my doctor basically thought I was crazy and trying to in more or less words, and trying to talk about it with specialists of like what hurts, what causes this, what that. Like, you literally feel like a crazy person. So it's just like this, even when you're not, it doesn't hurt per se. You just feel like your body's not relaxing in any positions. It's just like this tension, this ball of tension in your body. And you're just laying there and you can feel your heartbeat and you don't know why in your head. You want to sleep, but your head is just completely awake. And this is what, day 3 of no coffee? And like, I was not sleeping at all just because I couldn't find a way to sleep. And I kind of started having a little bit of a panic attack, because it was like 1 a.m, you're wide awake, and I'm just having you're having that feeling of like, great, so you can't even rely on being able to lay down and get some sleep, at least that for a little rest. It's like that thing where no matter what you do, it kind of feels like something ends up making it hurt, and like you can't find any relief or reprieve. And it was like sleep especially has been, when I experienced insomnia in 2019, like it did feel like I was going crazy. So I started having that horrible thought again of like, man, not again. Laying down on the floor felt so good. Why does it not? Why does it now hurt the back? So, and yes, I realize my room is messy from the video, but I don't care. I don't sleep in the bed. I just use it to lay in, etc. So, I've got a lot of knickknacks and stuff all over the place, I realize. But my like floor sleep setup is like a yoga mat, this thin blanket, and then a larger one. And that was fine. I thought, on top of like a carpet, which is on a hardwood floor. And I thought that was fine. But yeah, no, it just, wasn't feeling great anymore. It would do this weird stuff of like, oh, well, maybe if I hold my arm out like this, it doesn't hurt as bad. And it just feels like you're laying on tension and your body's not relaxing, like it's tensed up and not actually relaxing and sleeping, and you're just like awake. So I laid on my stomach, and you kind of relax a little bit because there's nothing touching it, but then it's like that's an absolutely awful sleeping position on your stomach with your head all cranked to the side. And then I went into bed. I just like laying there because like, oh, well, it's like a soft whatever thing. Like, what am I doing, man? I'm like getting on the floor, getting into bed, and I just look at the floor and think, all right, what if I take the top blanket off? So I just got the yoga mat and the thin blanket. Now there's like even less. I mean, it's much, much closer to the floor and much more firm. So I laid down. And I thought to myself, like, man, this is probably going to hurt, right? I mean, if you've got some weird muscle stuff, right, laying down on this firm thing, like it's going to make it hurt or something, right? And it did the complete opposite, man. I swear, within like a few seconds, I could just feel my entire body, just like this pressure, just like completely unwind and relax. I could feel myself just sinking into the floor, like almost like my muscles completely relaxing and me just like almost laying on my bones, if you will. I have no idea, no explanation for that. It's the craziest thing ever. I mean, I can't, like, you can do your generic, whoa, sleeping on the floor, good for you. But the weird inconsistency for me. And so, yeah, it was incredible. It was like a moment of actual relief of some kind. Just it feels like this tension that's been building up for a good while just completely released, and I was finally able to get some sleep. So, all right, that was another thing I thought to myself, all right, well, don't exercise it. Try to stand up. And well, I guess the solution for sleeping, fingers crossed, perhaps appears to be removing some of the padding and getting closer to the floor. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, folks. I cannot explain to you why that is, but it just is. This is the part where you do feel like a crazy person. And I would very highly recommend it if you got any weird back stuff. Just try laying on the floor and see how it feels. Thankfully, I mean, I've spent the last year sleeping on the floor, so it didn't take much. It just wasn't that overly uncomfortable. So yeah, maybe the solution, folks, sometimes is not to add stuff, right? Can I add this chair, this exercise, that bed, this bed? Maybe the solution lies in subtraction. What can you take away? In this case, take away as much, if not everything, that you can. No exercise, no real chair, or not as much. Take away your sleep padding, and yeah. So that's the plan going forward. So we'll see I'll try to do some more massage work and give it time and see what happens. I mean, based on what the person did today, seems like hopefully now the muscle gets a chance to actually heal and all of that. So yeah, that was very, very long about backs. So coding update, not particularly great, but I still did move forward. It was not the most comfortable. I mean, my mind was very preoccupied with this back stuff. I realize how utterly tired you folks must be about hearing about this back stuff. So I'll try moving forward to not talk about it so much, but I don't know. Maybe you don't really care what I talk about. It's just whatever. I did, let's see. I mean, I said got to do more, got to do this. Well, that's also true, but also this. I mean, I don't have any excuses. I didn't do as much progress as I wanted to, but I still moved forward despite everything. I did. There was a course on, or like a lesson on, or course, lesson, I don't know, on accessibility. And there was actually, I mean, I bookmarked a lot of stuff, probably more than I need to, but there was interesting stuff in there. The front end course got updated again with some stuff moved around. And once again, I'm finding the new teacher styles I am not a fan of. The one previously, Gil Hernandez, I enjoyed his style much more. So, but I think there's still a bunch of courses from him on there. So the new one, not as much, I'm finding. It's a little too throw out stuff at you and then, oh, go read about it. And then kind of just leaving it there where it's like, well, this is kind of harder to apply. I mean, I don't know. But it is what it is. I mean, there was some interesting stuff in the accessibility thing. Let's see, there was a course on Git. So for GitHub, which was my first introduction to that, learned a bunch of the different commands, and, you know, modified, staged, commit, finally learned what commits are. Heard about that a bunch. So that was good. There was a number finally now of JavaScript lessons again. And I'll show you a little bit of just some of the practice. I don't have anything to show of any projects I've done. It's mostly just been taking lessons. And so it was, so yeah, practicing a little bit of like arrays and stuff and loops and all that. So, I mean, I'm not unfamiliar with the concept, but just that concept of now where you're bringing in JavaScript in with HTML, right? So you're like creating HTML elements with JavaScript that my mind is still wrapping itself around, but I'm starting to kind of see it a little bit. All right, folks, so just to show you a little bit of the practices that I've been going through. This one's like creating a whole bunch of arrays, and then any questions that you answered right and wrong are stored in other arrays, and it keeps track of how many questions you answered right and wrong. So this is just practice stuff. So let's see, what year did Mass Effect release in? Let's see, 2007. Are Java and JavaScript the same? No. How many planets are in our solar system? 50. What color is the sky? Red. And look at that. Answered 2 out of 4, and then listing the array that it holds the correct questions and the ones that you got wrong. And it kind of builds this HTML little thing using string literals and all that. So just a little bit of something I've been practicing. So I think the next lesson is JavaScript objects, and I'm getting closer to, I think I'm at the last 1/4 or 3/4, I don't know what you call it, of the front end course. So it looks like there's some more JavaScript, a little more HTML, CSS. So we shall see. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to make more of my own stuff to actually learn, but right now it's just in the context of everything, folks, with how preoccupied I've been with all of this pain stuff. At least it's movement, it's some sort of movement forward. Surely would have been much easier if I didn't screw myself back up at the start of the month with all of this, but can't change that now, right? Now it's just trying to learn from it and all that. It's all certainly catching up. It is all certainly catching up, folks. All the bad habits, all the this and the that, and I don't know, man. I was at the grocery store a little bit ago, and I just saw this like old lady and began thinking of my mom. And I mean, she's not that old, but she's going to be. And just the thought of like, man, what a failure of a son I turned out to be. How much better they truly deserve, and how much I truly wish and hope I can make them proud and turn this around somehow, folks. And it's, little moments like that where I almost honestly started to break down a little bit in the store. I know, it sounds fruity, whatever, but, it's just kind of a reminder of the last 20 years and how much I truly wish I had tried harder. How time and time and time again, I just sort of gave up. So this is why, despite everything, I'm trying to move forward somehow while things aren't exactly great. I mean, they could be much worse, but you know what I mean. So, all right, let's do some Q&A. Yeah. If you'd ask me what would I want right now, just to make the feeling of making my parents proud. So that the opportunity that they gave to me wasn't completely wasted. Just resetting the light here. All right. Let's do a little Q&A. Red Skull 1900 asks, these videos really add to my Sundays. Georgie, well, thank you. I'm not sure why anyone watches these. I still wonder sometimes, like, is there any point to do any of this? But like I said, I committed to a year every Sunday. Like all other things, folks, gonna stick to it no matter what. Wanted to ask a couple of questions. What is your favorite programming language that you've learned so far? I would say I enjoy CSS. I don't know, would you call that a programming language? I suppose so. I think just being able to visually like style stuff and kind of see it happen. And me, given that I don't really have much artistic skills, it's cool to like be able to do that with code. So far I've enjoyed that quite a lot, actually. Especially when you kind of get it looking okay and presentable. It's like, you know what? That looks pretty cool. So that's what I've enjoyed so far. What meal do you prefer? So this is question 2 from Red Skull. What meal do you prefer having? What meal do you prefer to have? What meal do you prefer to have during OMAD? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? I just do dinner. That way, it's the end of the day. You have dinner. It's not like you're going to go out and do anything. I mean, you're just going to stay at home and, do some studying. So that makes the most sense to me, honestly. That's what I enjoy. Let's see. All right. Let's do... All right, this was a question from... I already forgot the person's username. They're the one who sent the email to me. I'm sorry. I forgot the... Did I put... Oh, Soldier Boy. Okay. Are you religious, or do you go to church because you believe in the stuff that they are saying, teaching, or is it for the social aspect of it, or both? Both, but I would say at this point, probably I would like for there to be a social aspect, but I'm not sure how much of that there's going to be, especially with, I don't know how much it's that particular church. And like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just a new guy off the street. These people all know each other more or less. I don't expect them to just be like, oh, hey, man. I don't know. But I said I might look at some other churches too. But really, at the end of the day, I think it's probably the first. I believe it, or at least I'm trying to. But I'm certainly a very awful and poor Orthodox Christian. So what can I say? I just kind of go for my own soul type of enjoyment thing. I don't know how to describe it, honestly. I mean, I would certainly like there to be the social aspect of it, but that's all right, folks. When's the last time I left Colorado? Plan on going anywhere else? It's been a very long time. I don't remember. When we went to Canada to visit friends in like the early 2000s. I don't plan on going anywhere. I mean, other than I think this year, every year we've kind of been going up to the mountains, to a little like resort with cabins and when you can fish for the last few years. We're going again this year, I believe in September. So I'm looking forward to that, honestly. I've grown to actually like it. I'm used to be one of these people that never wanted to do anything with my parents, and now I'm really trying to just enjoy my time with them because they're getting older. I'm getting older, and I don't want to look back and think like, do that thing where it's like, no, leave me alone. And then, when they do reach a certain age and it is their time to go, you're going to be wishing back how you spent more time with them. So, but no, I kind of have this attitude of, I think I've seen Christopher Anderson mention this. A captain goes down with this ship, folks. Home is here. I'm not going to leave. I mean, at some point, I would obviously like to have a house or a condo or something of my own. Definitely not an apartment. Fuck that. Didn't mean to use the word. Gosh darn it. No, I just mean Colorado. This is home, folks. I'm not going to leave my parents here. I'm just going to move somewhere else and just leave them here because they got nobody else. We've got some family here that we have no contact with, basically. So essentially, it's just, folks, I'm not going to do that. So go to Asia, go to this. No. For me, there's nothing for me anywhere there. Like I said, this is home, and this is where I'm going to just, this is where it's going to, if the ship goes down, this is where it's going to be, folks. There's a question about job. Do I still work at the library? Yeah, I mean, I'm still employed there. My job has changed dramatically. I mean, I don't have really much to say about it and any of that. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm grateful to still have a job. And, it simply is what it is because things changed for everyone. So I'm not going to be like, oh, why does everything have to change? Why can't I do what I did before? No, it's all right, man. I certainly miss some of the social aspect of it. I mean, I used to complain a lot in the past. And I mean, customer service can certainly be hard, but I really wish I didn't because it was one of the things where if I didn't have that social aspect, and just something forcing you to like interact with people, it would literally just be sitting at home or wherever doing nothing or not interacting with anyone. So I certainly miss that aspect. So did write an email. Hey bro, why don't you get a dog or try to learn to play a musical instrument? Women love dogs and music, and you might like them too a lot as well. Honestly, I like pets when other people own them, but they're not for me. There's way too much baggage with pets too, with how they're treated as surrogate children, that no, man. I appreciate them, but it is simply not for me. And musical instruments, I mean, there was a point in time, but not anymore, man. I got to focus on other stuff now. And I'm not really like, oh, if I do this, all the honeys, all the queens are going to be into me. Like, no, man, I don't care about it that way anymore. There was let's see. Let me just take a look at this. This is a thing about by Hopbap Uranvar. I see you are taking on Normie's advice, losing weight, going to church, coding, dress maxing, working, but are you happy, George? In a few years, we'll be in our 40s. I made a promise to myself that I won't live that long. Happiness is all that matters. Career, social acceptance, diet max, money, it's all cope. Well, first off, I would say this whole I won't live that long thing, don't take your life, man. And I don't mean to do the whole, I used to have this attitude too of like, oh, I don't see myself living until this age or that age. And all I've discovered is that day comes and then it feels just like any other day. But don't do you'll have all the, and I don't mean to do this, dude, just stay positive and everything will work out. No, what I mean is you'll have all the time in the world, once we pass, you have all the time in the world to reflect on everything. But you only get this one life to try something, anything. I don't know, man. That's how I view it. So, and I'm not taking anyone's advice. This is just purely for me to try something different, just to simply try something different. I'm trying to just move forward somehow, despite everything. And believe me, I've got all the there's all the reasons in the world why to quit, right? Just everything going on in in the world, with the economy, maybe in your own personal life, all this back stuff, and then losing the GF, and then the reality of getting older, and just thinking about, man, am I just deluding myself with all of this? Maybe so. If I am, a part of it I have is that if it's all just a delusion, then I might as well find out sooner than later. But all of this, despite all of this, like with the coding thing, I wish I had made more progress, but I'll take whatever little victory I can get, because despite all of that and feeling like you have every reason to start feeling sorry for yourself and just give up and do absolutely nothing, you know what I mean? It would be so unbelievably easy to give up and do nothing and just lay around and play video games and go back to eating junk and all of that stuff and feel sorry and feel hopeless. And then you look at everything in the world and, oh yeah, by the way, all the game stonk stuff is pretty cool. And I did remember that I never mentioned anything about like the inauguration or anything, because it's how much I care and how important it is. I've already sort of forgotten about all of that. So yeah, I did buy some AMC and I am holding, not planning on selling that. So, but yeah, there's every reason that you can, and then you could give up. And then, and then a year of your life is gone, and then 5 years, 10 years, and then the rest of your life is gone, and you look back and it's just not having tried anything, right? And believe me, it feels unbelievably absurd right now. It's like I'm making this small incremental turtle progress. And I feel utterly absurd. And it's like, dude, you go to church and you want to like meet people and talk to people, but it's just like these people who know each other and all that. And it's just, I have to accept that, it's starting late and you've got a lot of work ahead of you and a lot of catching up. But it's also just that little incremental progress in the beginning that you just have to cherish and keep nurturing and going and going and going. I just don't want to waste the rest of my life and look back and just say that I wish that I had tried, Happiness, I don't remember the last time I've been happy, man. I'll certainly be happy when I feel better. But it's been a while. And it's something, it's something that I'm simply going to have to earn, and it'll be a little cookie that you can enjoy here and there when you can kind of see the fruits of your labor results, and you're like, you know what? This wouldn't have been possible if I gave up. I said, man, I'm not listening to anyone. This is just me trying something else. And then finally, let's see. Jammin' on the Ivories says, there's always time. Age expectancy for millennials is going to be in the 80s, possibly the 90s. It takes 4 hours a day for 10 years to master anything. If you start something at 30, you could be a master by 45. Once you are a master, heck, even in the top 10% of anything, you can easily make a good living doing what you love. You could spend 30 plus years doing something you love from that point. As for the S word, you are missing very little. It's best with someone you love, and it can also improve with age. Robert Glover, author of that No More Mr. Nice Guy book, is mentioning how he's experienced the best S word of his life in his 50s. So you aren't really missing anything. And it's not even on my mind anymore, man. I don't. As for fitness, you could totally get jacked and chiseled if you want to, and stay that way into your 50s. You don't start to lose any strength until way into your 50s. So bottom line is, there is still hope for George or anyone else in his position. It's just a matter, and this is sort of the key. This is the key sentence, right? It's just a matter of wanting it bad enough and putting in the work, folks. And that will probably be the title of the video, folks. How badly do you want it? Now, that comment, depending on your perspective, we can look at it different ways. From one perspective would be the super cynical side, where it's just like, dude, you are absolutely coping. You know, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, you're this, you're that. The super more cynical side, and there's some truth to that. There is. The other side of it would be that sort of a false positive, that overly positive of, dude, just stay positive and everything will work out. That kind of attitude just takes off the burden of, like, it kind of puts you towards waiting again, like waiting, right? Waiting and like, it'll just work out. But the third, the synthesis, what is it? The Hegelian dialectic, the thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, the synthesis of all of them is given away in that last sentence of how badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? The time, I keep repeating this over and over, but I mean, I could give up very easily, and the situation does look sort of comical. Me, 35, all that stuff with all my little back this and that, slow turtle's pace. Like, dude, you go into church, like, well, you don't know anyone, like, you blah, blah, you can find every reason in the world to give up. But I feel like this is the crucial time, moving forward during the time that it sucks, and just holding on and making that little bit of progress. The time is going to go by anyway. If I give up, that's it. If I keep on going, and then once things start to improve and you get a better grasp on stuff, it gets a better chance, to become a roaring fire, if you will. So I think there's multiple truths to that comment. Success is certainly not guaranteed, but if you give up and don't do anything, then it's guaranteed that nothing's going to happen. I mean, maybe I will indeed crash and burn and embarrass myself and all that, but I will take that. I will certainly take that. versus not having even tried. But right now, folks, it's just, I mean, once again, I wish things had gone differently, but I can't go back and do that, change that now. It's just, while things are not the best, not falling into depression and hopelessness and just, oh yeah, whatever, man, I'm not gonna this, or I'll just continue to lay in bed and suffer through this, and maybe later in the year, waste another year. Maybe you'll feel okay, and then you'll start up again only to lose motivation. No, this right now, when things are not the best, when it's the absolute most important to hold on and keep on going and making whatever progress you can. Yeah. So I think that's about it. This was another ridiculous episode. I will go upload this and get back to studying JavaScript objects. And yeah, I've already said what the plan is with going forward with the back stuff. I'll try not to go into 20-minute long, whatever it is next time, but got to get that solved too if I actually want to be functional, you know what I mean? It's not just a thing that you can ignore and oh, it's just in your head, or just deal with it. No, when it impacts your life that much. It is a debuff that holds you back, folks. So anyway, that was it for January 31st. And I will see you folks next Sunday in February. Got to get to it, folks. Got to get to it. Keep it going. Don't give up no matter what. Maybe you want to do more. Maybe you want to do more. Maybe you want to do better, and you can and you will. But at the very least right now, just take the little victories and that you didn't give up and go backwards. On that note, folks, bye-bye.